JJ the Claymore Minotaur here, and I'm just gonna go straight in. It's the Green Hell circuit experience. I don't even know how I did this. Okay, you can see how I went slightly wide there. Brake hard, gear 2. Right here you can fly straight through this corner. The traction control system does take a little bit of the edge off. Brake hard, throw it into the corner, accelerate a little bit, brake a bit, little bit of acceleration. You'd probably want to keep on the tarmac for this. We kind of coast around that corner, then we push it. I don't know what level of alien technology the Ghost is using, but it's hacks. Anyway, for here, I like to ease up off the accelerator just for a little bit and then power through. 80% of the time you'll make it, no issues. Then it's full power straight. This one you can also keep your foot on the accelerator, just get out a little bit and then push in. It will retain grip again 80% of the time. This one you brake hard, do your best to stay on the tarmac, all four wheels. Then we go flying down here, full pelts, go up the hill, then towards the end of the hill we brake a little bit and then we brake hard here. Go around the corner, drop it to gear 2, maybe even gear 1, depending on whether or not you've overcooked it and gone too fast. Then put the power down, navigate these minor turns. I think I've seen people take their foot off the accelerator here and power through it. Not me. I brake hard here. Need to brake hard here as well. And then it gets a little bit tighter, opens up again. Power down, turn into this. Then you brake a little bit and then you can just drive all the way through. Like that initial bit of braking is just to kind of stabilize the car. Here you need to brake hard. I went down into gear 1 so I could actually get around the corner. You have to remember, I'm on a controller. I'm a fucking controller scrub. I swore, don't give a shit. Brake hard and then try and control it. Brake a little bit up here, accelerate out. Sometimes you can spin there, so be careful because of the gradient of the track. Here I think you can go all out, brake a little bit, it gets a bit tighter here, power out. Now you can go full pelt again. Like I knew I was going to do well on a run if I got anything close to a 302 here, but this was almost a 304, so I was surprised that I was able to make this. Anyway, full power, full power, full power, full power. Try and stay on the track, of course. You can either brake or take your foot off the accelerator a little bit and then power around. This one, get the right line. Just try and stay on the track as well, but you can go full power through that. Brake hard here, because sometimes you can be hit with some terrible understeer. Almost lost the car there with traction control. Shows you how good at this game I am. Brake hard. Try and modulate the throttle a little bit. Ideally you're supposed to stay kind of at that 30 to 45 degree angle all the way around the carousel, but we don't like carousels. They make us sick. So full power through here. Brake hard because it's uphill and it's winding. Brake hard again as it goes downhill slightly. Give it some power. Need to slow down a little bit here. Ride out the apexes. You're going uphill, so slow down. Otherwise you can just fly into that wall on the left side. Brake again. Ease yourself into it. Try not to spin it because it undulates. Again, try and stay on the tarmac. Uphill, braking, accelerator. Don't push it too hard because again you can go flying. Brake hard, then it gets even tighter. and then power out when you've got the grip and the direction. Flat out here. As you're in mid-air brake, you're going uphill again, so you have to be very careful with the braking acceleration. It can understeer quite a bit. Here you can go flat out all the way around the corner. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. When you see the apex start to brake, again it's uphill. Be very careful because you can go flying into the sand trap. That's why I hugged the left side, the apex there. I took my foot off the accelerator, or finger rather, because you can go flying there as well. You don't want that. Almost lost it. Brake a little bit. I've seen better drivers just take their foot off the accelerator a little bit. I didn't want to risk it. And this is where I was about 75% sure that I was going to make it. When I saw that it was almost to 52, I was like, I don't understand how I made up this time. I genuinely do not understand how I made up this time. Because I did a lot of braking where I didn't need to do any braking. As I'm sure you saw, I lost it a couple of times as well. Where instead of going smooth and direct, the wheels were kind of spinning out on me a little bit. I had to catch it. Now brake here. Try and cut it a little bit. Be very careful here as well, because I've understeered quite a bit. I've also crashed into this wall before. Be very careful. And then that's how you do it. You get the gold, barely. As I always say, we're here for the gold. For that 5 milli, you get me. Not for the world record. That's how I did it. I couldn't really explain to you anything regarding how more than I already have done, because that first turn I genuinely don't understand how I'm able to power out of that turn faster than the ghost, who's literally from another universe. They must be that's the only conclusion I can draw. And then as you're making it through these various winding turns, the way that they handle the car is just infinitesimally better than any kind of controller input that I could make. So yeah, there it is. JJ the Claymore Minotaur. I conquered the green hell. I think it was worth showing you that I had the staying power, the testicular fortitude, the bravery, and everything else that's related to actually get through the green hell on a controller. This is obviously post-patch, so the car understeers a bit more. I think I did have to relearn it because it did take me quite a bunch of tries. There's probably been about 5 or 10 other times where I got an absolutely brilliant time that I had no idea how I achieved, because I feel like I'm driving consistently. Obviously not, but I feel like I'm driving consistently. And then I'll end up crashing into a wall, or I'm pushing the car so hard that I end up understeering and ending up in a wall, in a sand trap, or just ever so slightly going onto the grass. Actually, there's been a good few times where, like on some of those straights where you can really push it, not the straights, sorry, on some of those curves that you can be flat out more or less, that my steering angle has been slightly off and I end up spinning the car. But again, it's because you have to push it in this. You have to make up every single tenth of a second. Otherwise, you lose it. You saw how close it was for me to get the gold. So you do have to push the car while maintaining some kind of stability. Because I think it's fair, the car that they've given you. The time, not so much, because it is done by an alien. I still don't quite understand how. I need someone to actually describe how this whole thing works. I understand the way the traction control and maybe the ABS aids with these things, but you don't seem to be able to get as fine a control of the accelerator, the brake, or even the steering on a controller as you would do with a wheel. That's what the consensus on the internet seems to be anyway. But you know, fuck it, because I've sworn a couple times already through this shit. We got it done. Normally by now I would have said, you know, I'll let Gran Turismo do its thing, but I just thought I would tell you that I don't quite understand how, especially after the first corner. You've seen in my previous GT7 videos that because I've had to restart these things so many times, the way I take the first corner is exemplary. I'm literally better than the Ghost a lot of the time. See, I almost lost it there. I'm actually better than the Ghost a few times, but then even when I try and feather the accelerator or the brake and use trail braking, I believe it's called, it doesn't seem to really make that much of a difference. The alien technology that the Ghost's pace setter has used is just far beyond mere earthly Terran dual senses. Do you know what I mean? So with that being the case, I'm still very surprised that I was able to do this. And as you can see, this wasn't the cleanest of races. I was doing some lawn mowing. Even you just saw there, I was grinding the rails. I was braking where I didn't need to brake, coming off of the power due to fear. And again, I thought I was driving consistently, but my first maybe half of the race, or time trial, well, it's a race against the clock anyway. My first part of the race was slower than I'm used to, because there would be times where I'm getting very lower times compared to the ones that I got when I was like halfway through, and I would end up losing a bunch of time on the second half of the track, and I wouldn't know where to make that up. I genuinely would not know where to make that up. I don't really see how I've done anything different than I usually do when I've come through here, and when I've done so, I've missed the time by like a good 2 seconds. And you saw how close I was beforehand. I think I was off before by about 400ths of a second or something like that. It could potentially be how I took that corner and how I took the carousel, because obviously they're very complicated turns because of the gradient. But somehow I was able to clutch it. Pun very much intended. Obviously my inputs are along the bottom, but my racing line is atrocious. I'm happy to admit that. My racing line always has been atrocious. I have been one to throw cars around corners. Sometimes I even hit the handbrake. I didn't in this, I was too frightened to do so. But sometimes I even hit the handbrake. I brute force cars, and I understand that's not really the way you're supposed to drive. You're supposed to be smooth and steady. Was it slow is smooth, smooth is fast? That's not how I did this at all. I think it's just that I was able to, I can't even say I went flat out and was pushing the car. I was very cautious on this run. And there it is. Checking for almost 14 minutes on how I was able to conquer the green hell. But that's how we do it. We get it done. Gold times, not world record times. I'm not an alien. I'm Terran. I'm from this planet. So we get it done. JJ the Claymore Minotaur, slaying the green hell. Bunner Elden Ring, this the Nürburgring. You get me? And I'm out.